Have you ever asked yourself, what turns somebody into a bully?
She. It can be very advantageous to be a trans woman at times. We're more than just pretty faces. Now, first of all, I wouldn't call this person a pretty face, but that is my personal opinion. Put your thoughts down below. This very interesting individual. And I open my phone and the first thing I see is my partner identifies as a dog. The first up, fresh out of prison, we have Des, also known as Big D, unfortunately for lesbians. And
What happens in a person's life that causes them to become cruel? When I was in elementary school, I was bullied a lot, and I did live long enough to see myself become the villain. My mom moved me to a new school in the 5th grade, and I became a bit of a mean girl myself. For me, it was self-preservation. If I bullied someone first, the other bullies would leave me the fuck alone. Someone I see a lot of myself in is Blaire White.
Evil takes a human form in Regina George.
Now, if you don't know who Blaire White is, congratulations, you've won the internet for today. Blaire White is a transgender conservative YouTuber and podcaster. She mostly makes content bullying queer people for their appearances, and she was a very loud Trump supporter for the last decade, but much like most of MAGA, she's been very quiet about him lately. Geez, wonder why. Blaire White is like any other conservative woman. She says the N-word.
it's probably been a while since I've said the N-word, so if you could just give me a little bit of credit for that. Well, publicly, of course.
Forgives her bald conservative fiance for cheating on her.
Sorry. Maybe if you were single for sure. Yeah.
Like, seriously, she should have did him like his hairline and left him many years ago. She does the excessive Botox and filler. Don't know why that's such a thing with conservative women, but they tend to really overdo the filler. She even rocks the Republican eyebrows. Seriously, don't trust anybody with these eyebrows. But I'm not here to attack Blaire White's appearance, though I do still have that mean girl in me. I want to look at Blaire White beyond the surface level. What was her upbringing like? Does she have feelings? Is she being paid to say what she says? Or does she really believe what she preaches? We're gonna take you on a vision quest to answer the question, why is Blaire White like this?
Yeah, Nazis are pretty f***ing gay. It's the Gender Podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science. Science will solve all the problems. That's the trans agenda.
Trans people in science are gonna save the day.
Solve the problems with us. With science. Science, bitch.
Science and my trans agenda, I'm returning trans.
Hi,
Hello!
and welcome.
Welcome to the Gender Podcast.
Gender Podcast.
I am Chloe,
And I'm Laura.
and what are we talking about today?
As you would know from the intro, we're doing a deep dive on Blaire White. A
Yeah.
very, very deep dive.
So deep.
So
you
many
dove
receipts.
as deep as anyone has dived before.
The dark corners of the internet to find whatever I could and connect any dots. It was a lot. So I felt like the yarn chart meme guy.
You acted like him too.
Yeah, I felt like him. I became the yarn chart meme. Like,
Yeah, several times.
I
You just
felt like an insane person looking
burst
at all of
into
this.
my room. Like, you wouldn't believe what I just found.
Yeah.
But this connects to this, and then we wouldn't even believe.
The thing too is a lot of the stuff that I found is like not everything necessarily proves anything.
Sure.
I have my theories, but we're about to dive into it. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell.
You want notifications.
Come check out our Patreon.
You would love our Patreon
It's
if
a good
you
time.
enjoy this show.
Yeah, we do bloopers, we play Magic the Gathering, we have random conversations about things like fourth dimensional beings, the origins of patriarchy.
We do Get Ready With Me's.
Yes.
Where we tell just like random personal stories, spicy ballet stories. We're probably going to record one soon about like this weird transphobic girl I was not friends with. The story of seeing Dune. Somebody remind us if we don't put that out soon.
Yeah.
Send us an email, thegenderyap@gmail.com.
Yes. And thank you to all of our patrons,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Yes, thank you.
There's 20 of you now.
Yeah.
As of today. Thank you so much, every single one
Yeah,
of you. It
literally,
means everything to us.
Truly, like, heart on the face.
Yes.
Cannot express enough gratitude. And also the people who keep coming back and tuning in to our new shit. Like, we're going to keep upping our game as long as you keep coming. So
Yep, precisely.
let's definitely get into it.
I wanted to do this episode because I have a personal beef with Blaire White. Like, not
What?
personal.
What'd she do to you?
It's not what she did to me. It's, I mean, she's kind of fucking over all of us with her rhetoric.
That's true. Yeah. Harming all women.
Yeah, harming all women, all people, really. She's racist. She's like got everything else going on. I used to watch Blaire White sometimes. I remember one day, I don't know if it was 2017, 2018, but this video popped up on my YouTube feed titled "Feminism is Cancer."
Now that we're all in agreement that feminism is indeed cancer, let us take a look at the ways in which feminism is, like a virus, able to spread its misinformation, half-truths, blatant lies, and overall retardedness through the internet.
Oof.
I remember back then, rage bait really got to me. It still does to a degree, but like back then.
I was going to say back then.
Back then,
it was different.
I was a lot more of just a loose cannon and kind of emotionally unstable.
Sure.
And yeah, shit like that would piss me off. I've always considered myself to be a feminist. Even when I've been ignorant in some views, I've always been very much for like my own rights at the very least, you know?
Yeah, I've been vocally a feminist for like 20 years. Even long before I knew I was a woman. I was one of those male feminists everyone makes fun of.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you, a woman? It's like, I fucking wish.
You must have been a trip before you transitioned. It's just so fucking funny.
I was confusing.
Yeah. So that video, I remember seeing it in my feed, thinking to myself, who's this stupid bitch saying she's not a feminist and that it's stupid? And I clicked on it. Didn't agree with a single point in her video, but she had...
Shocking.
I feel like her older content kind of reached a wider audience in a weird way, even though it was a lot more messy and like, it was less polished.
Yeah.
She said a lot more slurs, things like that.
Alright, get ready for some tranny on tranny crime, because today I am responding to Cat Black. So just what is an SJW to do if reality is not really meeting their apocalyptic Nazi Germany expectations?
I don't need to be scared in my own house that I'm gonna get fucking attacked. Which is illegal in Canada, just saying. But
You think that was like cute? Was that a moment for you? If the most interesting thing you have to describe yourself is that you're trans, you're boring.
But she had a certain charisma to her that you kind of just couldn't help but like watch sometimes. So her videos would just sometimes pop up into my shit and I would click on them. And even though I disagreed with like the majority of everything she said, over time it started to get me to believe propaganda about trans people. Specifically, the biggest thing was trans kids shouldn't transition.
I chose a title for this video that lets you guys know upfront my feelings about children transitioning, but let me just say, I am against it. I am against it. I am against
Which to this day, she like doubles down on that and she spreads a lot of misinformation. That is the biggest problem with Blaire White outside of her bullying is she spreads propaganda and misinformation and people listen to her. I think a big reason I started believing that, like I think if she was not a trans woman, I wouldn't have believed.
Taken that seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was also at a time where I was still unpacking a lot of transphobia. I was like at a much better place with it, but I was also in a place where I was afraid to ask my trans friends questions.
You know a bitch like me yet.
Yeah, and you're like an open book, but there are a lot of people that still watch her. And surprisingly enough, a lot of the people that are fans of her are like younger trans people that are looking for somebody to look up to.
Yeah.
And she's one of the
She
biggest...
is one of the few people that like the social media algorithms will still push to like young people.
She's one of the biggest like trans, I don't want to say activists, but like
she's not an activist.
She's like the anti-activist, but like she's one of the biggest voices in that space and she's doing harm.
She's just an influencer.
Yeah.
She's a trans influencer who influences hate.
She just kind of paints herself out to be like one of the good ones, right?
She claims to be like the good one.
Yeah. Like she kind of acts like she's...
Has she ever had anyone else on? Has she ever like promoted another trans person or is it pretty much just her?
There's this trans girl named Eden the Doll.
I don't want a full-grown 40-year-old man with a beard that has never seen a hormone in their life that may consider themselves a trans woman. I don't want you in the girls' restroom now. You need to earn your spot there. This person is very clearly confused, and even I, as a transgender woman, would not want my child to be learning from someone this confused about their own lives.
I mean, she's really good friends with Buck Angel. She's done videos with Buck Angel.
This is such a long time coming, Buck Angel.
In the year 2020, she put out this video about this trans woman named Janae Marie Kroc. This was kind of the beginning of like her downfall in a way. And I wouldn't say it was a downfall because
she's still around.
She's still around and she still gets views, but it kind of started the beginning of distrust with her audience. Janae Marie Kroc was a powerlifter. Blaire White made a video slandering her and lying and saying she competes with women, which she doesn't. Never has, never will. Attacked the woman's looks.
Because she's like pretty bulky.
Yeah, because she was a power lifter and then
Exactly,
transitioned way later in life. Probably
Once you've
didn't
already
stop
built up all
working
the
out
muscle,
to
yeah.
like lose some of that muscle
of
mass.
course not.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
Janae Marie Kroc called her out and was like, hey, like none of this information is true. If you would like to talk to me, that would be cool. But also like, I am getting a lot of hate from your followers. Can you please take the video down? Blaire White goes radio silence for a week. The video is still accumulating views. She isn't posting online anywhere. She comes out with this apology video.
I got her all wrong and I said this. Something we don't often see is that Janae actually went back post-transition and competing against men. She's gone back and forth competing with men and women. It is for no other reason than my own lack of due diligence and my own lack of sufficient research on her story. I definitely never want it to happen again. I don't know how I went from the video prior to that one with overnight shipping a long, obnoxiously thick novel of J.K. Rowling's for research to doing such incredibly subpar research on the second video, but I did and it was dumb and I am sorry. I also want to say that even if Janae competed in women's leagues, it was never my intention to send hate her way. I didn't want any hate sent her way, but I also understand if that's the effect, then that's the effect and it's still my doing and I take full responsibility for that.
She was owning up to what she did, but it almost didn't feel sincere. And when you look at the comments on that video, it's interesting because there are a shit ton of comments from people saying, hey, you did something in your settings, so we can't comment this woman's name. It's kind of weird that you like blocked her name from being mentioned in the comments. Like people were like having to misspell the woman's name to like mention her in the comments.
That's very specific.
This was around a time where I'd stopped like watching her when she'd pop up on my feed, and I had started kind of feeling like maybe this is actually like bullshit. I had already kind of been on that path in my mind. I was working at a bar with a MAGA boss who loved to like get coked out and then like argue with everybody about his political views. I remember he would bring up trans people sometimes, and like some of the stuff he said I knew was wrong, so I would like challenge him on it. And sometimes he would bring up points that I didn't know anything about. I would look up research about it. But I remember one day he had said something about like, oh, it doesn't matter, like they're mentally ill because trans people still kill themselves at just as high of rates after they transition. It makes no difference if they transition. That's a rebuttal I hadn't heard. So I looked it up and I was like, oh, the trans people that are killing themselves after transitioning are doing so because they're being treated terribly in society.
Yeah.
And
it's also not as high of a rate.
And it's not. It's absolutely not.
It's a lower rate.
Yeah. So all of the like suicidal ideation and everything comes from the way society is viewing them and treating them. So I remember bringing that up to him and him being kind of like, oh shit.
I never thought about how they would feel if
Yeah.
living in a world that hates them.
I remember at one point getting into a conversation with him about kids transitioning. I had seen videos that combated a lot of the like detransitioner videos she would have and all of her arguments. You know, I would see videos of people that are like, I transitioned as a kid and it was the best thing I ever did for myself. And I started feeling like, I feel like this is not actually an issue.
Yeah.
And eventually I like met you and you pointed me in the right direction. I also want to point out this was around a time, there's this documentary called The Great Hack. Everybody should go watch it. The Great Hack was about Cambridge Analytica is this tech company that worked with Facebook and other social media platforms to push propaganda onto people before his first term and during it to sway people's opinions. I feel like the fact that her video being shown in my feed was, you know, maybe an attempt at that, you know?
Yeah.
To kind of sway my opinion. Because
trying to influence you in a direction. You seem like you're kind of on the cusp. We'll decide for you.
I also think a lot of people misunderstand like the point of propaganda sometimes. Yes, it makes people like full-blown right-wing Nazis for sure, but there are a lot of middle ground people that don't really have a solid stance on certain very important issues
Yeah.
because they've been fed misinformation about it and they don't know what to trust. They don't really know what they're talking about. They've just heard this online so many times and they mean well, but they're being confused on purpose. So like, even though they might not go out and vote for Trump, they might cause more harm.
Yeah. All it takes is ignorance. You don't have to be hateful to hurt people.
I almost think that was a bigger piece of this entire psyop than even trying to convert people to like crazy right-wing Nazis. The psycho white supremacists and misogynists and everything, they were always there. They didn't get like radicalized to that degree. Like they were there before all of this.
Yeah, those people have been around, and then they just want to bring people ever so slightly closer to them.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest piece that really like divided the country was all of the middle of the aisle people that they had kind of just confused. There were a lot of weird like mixes of like political views that were happening out of nowhere that like really weren't a thing before. I feel like that was a big like gateway to the alt-right pipeline too, was being in that middle ground, even just in the slightest.
And in order to have a pipeline that slowly pushes people in a direction, they also have to generate content that is on every step of the ladder. So when you see a lot of like these most evil people with bad intentions funding certain people's content, and it's like at several steps on the ladder. They're like, I'm going to choose this person, this person, this person, and this person, and fund them producing the content that they do, and then we can write the algorithm so that it shows you those people in this specific order to slowly get you
over there
further in that direction. But if those pieces don't exist, if those people aren't being pushed, or if they're just not making the content, then you don't have the ladder. You can't jump from middle to alt-right. You need every single piece in between or it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the thing too, because like I never got pushed to the right. I never voted for Trump. You could have held a gun to my head. I wouldn't have fucking done that.
Because they can only take you as far as you are willing or capable of going.
So you might be wondering to yourself, Laura, how could you be so stupid and fall for the misinformation on Blaire White's channel? The thing about Blaire White is she doesn't always say shit I disagree with, even to this day.
Unfortunately, they still all have been white.
White.
We gotta own it. I'm so sorry. Like, the liberals do kind of have a point when it's so often white people.
If you're on the left, you've heard people say, moderates and centrists are just conservatives. And that is true. But it's a bit more complicated than that. A person who calls themselves conservative will stand on their bigotry. Most moderates are spineless and don't. The alt-right pipeline works because moderate conservatives will say things that are in fact true that people on the left agree with. It builds trust, so when they lie about a topic you don't know anything about, you start to believe the lie. Even if it doesn't radicalize you, it may leave you feeling, quote-unquote, politically homeless. Even if you're not going to vote conservative, it still helps the right if you choose not to vote at all. This is why the rise of Joe Rogan was more dangerous than Andrew Tate or Matt Walsh, in my opinion. All the people screaming, both sides bad, and being in a political state of confusion in the last decade was a big way fascism was able to rear its ugly head. And Blaire White plays a huge role in this by using her own community as a scapegoat. Janae Marie Kroc happened, and that's when I was like, oh, this bitch lies blatantly about stuff, you know? And it kind of like broke the little like spell I was under of like trusting some of the stuff she said because she's trans. I found out in 2023, Ellie Ehrlich sued Blaire White for defamation. Blaire White made a claim that this woman had committed suicide over stuff that she had said, and that woman that she said had killed herself over something Ehrlich had said, she was still alive at this time. So she was just saying shit, like...
Literally just making shit up.
Yeah. So I found those court documents. She settled outside of court with Ehrlich. So there's no documentation of, you know, what exactly she was wrong on, but I feel like settling outside of court means you know you're going to lose. You probably don't want it on record. It's going to cost you less money to just settle. Also, I found a more recent clip of her in an interview. You know how the conservatives are trying to push that, like, there's a rise in, like, trans people committing mass shootings and it's a problem.
Yeah.
The host in that interview brought that up, and Blaire White started blaming it on, oh, well, a lot of trans people are on SSRIs, and then mixed with, like, changing your hormones.
That there's been a rise in violent crime associated with trans. And if you look at mass shootings and school shootings, there's been a lot. And it's not, curiously, not just male to female. It's sort of female to male as well, which goes against my initial instincts, which was that men have a propensity to violence and sexual crime much higher than women.
Yeah, it has been something that's like this relatively new phenomenon. I think that because I've looked at every single one of these cases because there's a
Right.
handful now. And every single one of them is also on SSRIs, abusing other drugs. And so I think that people treat maybe hormones also as something that's not as extreme as it is, like altering your hormones. And I think that there's actually like a huge rise in popularity of everybody kind of tinkering with their hormones. So many men now are on testosterone, and obviously women when they're going through menopause, and it's just a big thing now. It's taken way too lightly. I think when you mix that with drugs, psychedelics, SSRIs, mood stabilizers, which all these kids mostly seem to be on, I don't know what that cocktail does.
And it's just so crazy because it's like, you're also trans. You would think that you would understand that, if anything, your mental health improves when you take HRT.
I know trans girls who are on SSRIs, and they are quite literally the least violent people you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
And
they're
it's
like the meekest, like,
and then
sweetest people.
But the fact that she's even in an interview, like, pushing that bullshit, that, like, even a lot of, like, hardcore right-wing people don't believe that shit. Like, I remember seeing a comment section on one of Joe Rogan's clips being like, you're just blatantly lying.
Because if you actually look at the stats, the rate at which trans people commit mass violence is significantly lower if you just look at trans people, like the percentage of trans people who do harm, and then you look at cis white men, and you look at the percentage of cis white men that do harm. The percentage of cis white men is so much higher than the percentage of trans women compared to just trans women.
Cis white men are like,
we are statistically
killing it with those stats.
Oh yeah, cis white men,
they take the cake
crushing
every time.
mass violence.
If you care about mass shootings, let's talk about cis white men.
Let's definitely.
What the fuck
talk
are you
about cis
doing?
women. The highest rate of any subgroup, if you want to look at groups, you know.
Even like compared to cis women, trans people commit less violent crimes.
Yeah, we're one of the least violent demographics that exist. But of course, you can cherry pick stats on literally anything to make any group look like whatever you want.
Yes.
Which is why they keep cherry picking the detransitioners and the mass shooters, trying to paint a narrative that we're all just crazy, deranged, violent lunatics.
A big problem with Blaire White's content as well is she will take trans people that don't pass, and it's usually trans women. She sometimes goes after trans men, but she always picks people that don't pass. She typically goes for people that don't fit the typical like cis-het beauty standard, you know?
Sure.
And some of the people she goes after aren't the best of trans people, for sure. Like, not, like, she's gone after...
It's easier to go after them.
Yeah. She's gone after, like, there was this woman, Jessica Yaniv. I remember, like, very much watching that drama unfold, which she was going after this trans woman from Canada who was definitely kind of predatory and definitely mentally ill. I had a whole, like, weird debate with her. It was, like, this whole thing. So, like, sometimes she is actually going after somebody who is not the best representation of the community.
That's how you balance it and regain the trust of people so that they don't question your crazy shit.
But then she does a lot of just lying about people. We brought my friend Avatar Brandy on to the show so we could talk to her about her experience with Blaire White. Blaire White did recently make a video about her bullying her for her appearance and for her being emotional when talking about cis people. And I thought it would be interesting to bring somebody on who actually
has
had
experienced the hate firsthand.
has been personally victimized by Blaire White. Yeah.
Cis women think they're gonna give me f***ing tips. Your husbands are DMing me in the middle of the night and you think you're gonna give me tips.
One of your eyes is down the street. The left one specifically. That was mean. But mean doesn't equal incorrect. And when you're a bully, you know, when you come on the internet with that kind of aggressive, nasty, just nasty behavior, you can get clocked and someone has to.
Brandy, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Happy to have you.
I know Blaire White made a video about you bullying you. How long ago was it?
I remember hearing about it in like October of 2020.
Oh, okay.
What fucking year is it? Yeah, 2025.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's been about like what, 9-10 months probably.
Yeah. Damn.
I had known people were making videos about like that TikTok I had made specifically because I had gotten people commenting on it. I think this was before Blaire White had found the video. Like she gets her kind of content, I guess, from getting shared with other transphobic like right-wing groups. The one that I had known was there was this girl on Instagram talking about that specific video. A couple months later, people were saying Blaire White had made a video about me and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I had my friend watch it. Like, I didn't really want to watch it. Like, I was like, what's the point of seeing this? And I had my friend watch it. She told me what was in it, and then I was like, okay. But really the worst thing that I think happened was that video ended up getting removed from TikTok because all of her followers like came and harassed me and also reported that video for being hate speech.
Which is so ironic because her video was hate speech. Like,
what was your video?
So if you haven't seen my content on TikTok, I talk about transphobic topics, and so I get a lot of trolls who come into my comments.
Yeah.
The trans experience.
Yeah, trans experience. And so I feel like we should show that trans people are not just like gonna accept that.
Gonna take the bullshit from people and tell them to fuck off. Yeah.
Damn
And
right.
so that's kind of how I started on TikTok. And the specific video that Blaire White made a video about was me talking about cis women specifically. I was saying that you know, which is honestly not one of the first, like all of my content is basically like that.
That's
like,
how I found you. You showed up on my feed one day and you were ripping some cis person for being like shitty and like checking them, but I liked it because like I learned shit from your TikToks. Even when you're like flipping out on somebody, like you'll like drop like hella facts. You know what I mean? Like that was a big reason I followed you. Yeah. I think we should see more trans people like fighting back when people are shitty to them.
Yeah.
You're like the only demographic that's not allowed to do that for some reason because they'll use it against you. And it's just like
that specific video was me talking about how it was basically me just like ranting about cis women and saying that I don't need their tips, I don't need their advice,
and that their husbands are
Yeah.
in your DMs. I loved that. I thought that was fucking funny.
and that their husbands are all,
Yeah.
you know, cheating on them with trans women. So like
literally,
we're the blueprint.
That is their greatest fear.
It is. And so I felt that way is like, you know, cis women are upholding this like ideal standard of womanhood, which is like ridiculous. Like nobody is meeting it.
It's like the whole thing we're trying to tear down. Is
Right.
Yeah.
And so for cis women to come and, you know, in my opinion, like I feel like, I don't know, I like the way I look.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the way I look. I think with Blaire White, there is kind of this exampling that she tries to do of trans women. Like I think that she targeted me because of the content of what I was saying. And then she, instead of targeting with the content of what I was saying,
she came for your appearance
Right.
instead, which was like, what are we doing here? Like,
right. And I think that she knows that like, obviously there's a ton of DL Republicans, like the fuck, like their entire
Clearly, she's fucking a lot of them, I'm sure.
Right. Alex Jones.
Blaire White has said that herself.
Yeah,
that
I wonder
a lot of
why
conservatives are in the closet.
You mentioned conservative influencers being gay. Did you mean Benny Johnson? No, I was not talking about Benny Johnson. I've had no personal experience with Benny Johnson. However, yeah, it's a thing. It's like they're all gay. It's really weird. I couldn't tell you exactly why.
She attacks appearance because, like, she knows that if she plays the video and then if she only attacks the appearance, all of her followers will attack the rest of it, and then she's, like, not culpable for it. And but she's still, like, she's pointing everyone in a direction by playing a certain part of a video of something that somebody said that she knows is going to trigger her fans and her followers. And then she's like, but I'm not going to criticize the idea. I know y'all will, and I'll just point out that I think you look shitty or whatever.
And really, I think the point of those videos are to like use her audience as like a weapon against trans creators who are infinitely
100%.
smaller than she is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the only thing that she can do now at this point is like attack people based on their appearance, you know, try to present herself as the true tranny. She's the right one. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Can I say that?
Yeah. You can say it. I can't say it, but you can say it. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Blaire's out there saying it.
Yeah.
she is definitely is out there saying it, but she, you know what else? She's also saying that she's a fucking man. So
Yeah.
make
True.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Make
that.
it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Looking at all of the videos that you compiled, right? She clearly is someone who has a lot of like unhealed baggage about, I mean, with trans misogyny, really. Like, it's deeply ingrained in her. She is, you know, basically a participant in that, upholding that system in particular. And she's a really important part of it because she represents this, you know, the right way to be a trans woman, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we know from experience and from history that there is no right way, or like
Yeah.
she's gonna get thrown under the bus like the rest of us.
Yeah.
But she's just a useful idiot, right? She's just
Yeah.
Maybe she'll be thrown under last, but she's
Yeah.
still going to be under
Yeah,
the bus.
right.
Like,
she's not even gonna be thrown out last in reality.
No, truly,
she's gonna be
yeah.
used up until the usefulness, and then
Yeah.
and look, like these laws that are targeting people, trans people in Texas aren't making an exception for Blaire White,
Yeah,
are
no,
they?
she fled that state, and she claims that's not why she fled it, but like
Yeah.
she left right after Trump got back into office, like immediately. I wanted to ask, like, how did it affect you, like, mentally and emotionally after that happened? Because I remember I had like DM'd you one day, or you DM'd me, and we kind of were chatting, and I was like, how have you been? Because I hadn't seen you post, and you were just like, told me a little bit about it, and you're like, yeah, so it's just been kind of difficult, like, you know, like, what were you going through after that, like, on an emotional level?
I would say that really shook me out of wanting to use and participate with TikTok as a platform. That was really a huge wake up moment for me of realizing how captured TikTok had become as a platform. Obviously all that happened like after Barron Trump like acquired the fucking company.
Whatever they did there.
I think that, you know, it became very apparent that the moderation that existed on TikTok, which was still like very kind of bad, it didn't eliminate transphobia on the platform by any means. But the moderation going forward was actually just to use that moderation system to target trans people, right? And this is the exact way that, you know, and it's not like it's unique to TikTok. This happens, right? I mean, this is how the internet really functions, is that there's dog piles and harassment campaigns, and then getting videos removed, right, by larger creators who have larger audiences. I guess I felt like I was trying to avoid that kind of thing by going on TikTok and having it be like used against me, having that TikTok taken down, which I was like, fuck that. Like, if you're gonna see my video, like, you can at least like watch it on my actual page and like engage with my content. What the hell? Right? But it just goes to show that, you know, these right-wing figures like Blaire White, they use and encourage their audiences to break every rule or every moral that they supposedly stand for, like freedom of speech or whatever the fuck. To use those systems to harass people because they don't like what I said about fucking cis women. I don't really care, really. And it's also like, is it that serious? Like, is it ever that serious?
You're gonna make an entire thing
Of
because,
course not.
like, come on.
It's just because that's how she keeps her audience engaged. That's how she makes money. That's just what she has to do. Like, she's painted herself into a corner where her only option is to attack her allies and community and alienate herself and isolate herself, which psychologically is something we understand about her as something that she does as a defense mechanism to protect her own feelings, but it's making her alone. It's completely isolating her in the world because the people who ostensibly would be her biggest supporters are now her biggest enemies, and she has done that to herself.
Well, yeah, and a great point to that is like, what has Blaire White gained for trans rights, right? What has she gained for her own existence moving forward? Because we can't get our passports updated, right? We're losing our access to healthcare. We can't participate in public life. We can't go to the bathroom without breaking the law.
In some states, people can't drive. They lost their licenses.
In Kansas.
Brandy has offered to do a reaction video to the video that Blaire White made about her.
Yes.
And thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
I would not have asked you to do that because
this was entirely my idea. I don't want any of y'all to come for Laura or Chloe. This is my idea. So don't worry, I consent. And I also haven't seen the video.
I haven't either. Yeah, this is a lot of firsts today.
Oh my god, there's my face. That's insane. Okay. This has 36,000 likes. That's crazy. Trans women are better than cis women. I literally never said that, by the way.
Cis women think they're gonna give me tips. Your husbands are DMing me in the middle of the night and you think you're gonna give me tips. I walk in the room, all eyes are on me. You couldn't pay people to pay attention to you. I would think that part of a successful transition to living as a woman would be learning to not hate women. And especially when you're trying to be that. It's kind of like, what are you doing? We can call that self-hate, or we can call that projection. We can call that you don't know yourself. Saying that men wanting to have sex with you is somehow a flex. Men want to toasters. So the idea that like there's value in being wanted by men definitely decenter men as well, because that's a little bit pathetic. And on top of that, if you felt like you were really the baddest bitch like that, you wouldn't need to put women down. And it sounds like you're so mad because they're giving you tips. I think you need it, starting with that male aggression.
The male aggression.
Okay.
It really is like everything that she says
is projection.
It's also like everything that every fucking TERF has ever said to me. Like,
literally.
I don't I don't care. And you know, I do hate transphobic women. Period. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I am better than them. So
you're not
And I'm cis and I hate transphobic women. I think, and this is the thing, like if you're cis and you're watching this, like being transphobic or like letting people be transphobic, like it affects cis women directly. We would be progressed further if we all came together.
That'd be nice.
Like if we're suppressing trans people, that is eventually gonna come back onto us. Yeah, like stop punching down.
She attacked a bunch of stuff that you didn't say and then like projected a bunch of bullshit onto it.
Yeah. She definitely does do like these straw mans. I mean, that's her entire thing. And it's also funny because it's like, if I was just a genuine misogynist, she'd probably defend me. Like,
yeah, that's the ironic part. She was like, maybe like don't hate women. I'm like, bitch, you hate women.
Let's fucking stand up. Let's get some righteous anger in here.
I want to see more women be mean.
I have talked and communicated this way my entire life.
Yeah.
I say these outrageous shit since I was born, right? Like, it started exactly.
All you did was punch the doctor in the face.
It's true.
Yeah.
And if anybody who knows me really, they do know that about me. Like, I'm sure anybody who knows me and saw that video is like not really shocked that I would say shit like that. And people only ever will police you, right? I mean, the reason why I get this kind of policing on like my tone and like how aggressive I'm being and whether I'm a male aggressor or whatever, is because I am presenting like a woman and I'm presenting female. Like, if I wasn't, really people wouldn't care. I guess I feel like the whole concept that she's talking about is misogynistic, right? She is policing how women are supposed to behave and how they're supposed to talk. She's also policing trans women about how they're supposed to talk about cis women and about the men that try to seek them out, right? Which are a lot of the time what I just said. These are married men who come into trans women's DMs, like, and
you can't deny that that's happening because every trans girl has those receipts.
Yeah, and we have receipts on fucking Blaire White's own fucking fiance doing the same shit to her. So maybe be concerned more with why your fucking fiance is going and hitting up Brittany Cade, and stop talking about fucking me on your stupid fucking YouTube channel. This is the girl who's done blackface, right? This is the girl who makes fun and has said the N-word. Like, who is she to be a moral police of anybody?
I wanted to look into Blaire White's past and really get to know who she is as a person based on her upbringing, who she was online before she blew up, things like that. And the first place I thought to go was 4chan. For those of you who don't know what 4chan is an image board. Think of like Reddit, but way more neo-Nazis, incels, and basement dwellers posting. 4chan is like the foundation for almost all internet culture in the last 20 years. A lot of your favorite memes came from 4chan. It was founded by Christopher Poole in 2003. His username on 4chan was Moot. Christopher Poole came up in the Epstein files one time. He had a meeting with Epstein in 2011. He has publicly stated that he regrets it, but who knows? A lot of people are trying to distance themselves from that guy. Jeffrey Epstein's death was leaked on 4chan 40 minutes before any major news outlets got a hold of the story and put it out there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But don't we also know that Epstein had an account on 4chan?
Yes. Blaire White's early YouTube videos had a lot of references to 4chan.
We're finally going to address the question that's as old as 4chan. Are traps gay?
Your first boyfriend, did you kind of ask him out, or did he approach you, or was he a friend that you just fell into?
We met on 4chan.
So I figured that would be a really good place to start. I pulled up an old 4chan archive. I typed in Blaire White's name. Most of what popped up were incels critiquing her looks, saying they think she's so beautiful, while also misgendering her and calling her slurs. Some posts were of people who claimed to know her personally, but as I combed through the dark corners of the internet, that is 4chan, I found a username. 4chan's an interesting place. I used to rage scroll, is what I call it, when I was 18 and 19 years old. I had a friend who sent me something, and I was like, what is this website? And she was like, this is 4chan. And I was like, this looks terrible. And I just couldn't look away. I was like an angry 18-year-old kid. I was mentally unwell at the time as well.
I learned what 4chan was because one of my ex-fraternity brothers was like heavily active on there.
I finally found one anonymous comment that led me to a username that, for many reasons, I am not going to say that name because it's just, it's horrendous. There's a slur in it. It dead names her.
I'll say it.
You say it.
It's Robbie Fagatron.
Such a bad username.
It's not great.
So I want to be clear, especially if you're cis. It is normally not okay to dead name trans people. And if you are not a part of the queer community and have never been called the F-slur, do not use that word. In this case, Blaire White to this day goes on interviews and lets people misgender her, dead name her.
She's even like made videos like sharing old clips of the old account, like not even that long ago. So like we're not doing anything that she isn't doing to herself. Otherwise, yeah, I would be against displaying her dead name.
Yeah. She also misgenders and dead names trans people all the time as a dig to them.
That is true. But also in some cases, turnabout is not fair play.
Yeah. I typed in her old username. I found an old Twitter account. It is unclear if it's 100% her. There were some interesting tweets. There is a rumor. There is an ongoing rumor that she is a transmaxxer who is not really trans. I do not believe that theory, and I will get into why throughout this episode.
I think a fair number of transmaxxers
were real trans people.
Actually trans people, and it's just like because of the community that they're in and like the environment that they're surrounded by, it's like the only way that they can safely transition. I do also think that there's the people who aren't really trans and are like, I'm gonna get a leg up in the world because women have it better. But like, I think there's a mix of both, and I think
the majority of them are trans people. That is the only community they have, and
that's the only safe way to transition without being cut out of the whole circle.
Yeah.
It's probably extra gross too, because like I bet all the people that they are close with on there are like, will you let me smash after? Like, I hate trans people, but like, since I know you're not.
Well, it's a bunch of weird incel dudes, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So on this old Twitter account, it had a link in the bio to her old YouTube channel, which has no videos up. Shout out to my friend Tiffany for pointing me in the right direction to finding this. I found 2 pages of her archived old Tumblr account, which was interesting because this goes way, way back.
Remember, kids, the internet doesn't forget.
Okay, so I passed 100 subscribers on here, and I thought a quick little thank you was in order because I've only been doing videos for a couple weeks. I mean, I know that a lot of people on this website have millions more subscribers than that, but I don't know, I really, really appreciate this first 100.
Baby Blaire White was very MySpace scene-esque. It's funny because there's a lot of things about Blaire White I like identify with in a way. Just culturally speaking, the way she dressed, some of her like pop culture things she was interested in, like the makeup she liked. It was really interesting going through her old Tumblr account.
I am a very, very feminine boy, a tramp, or whatever you want to call me. And so naturally, finding someone for a relationship is going to be a little bit harder than a normal girl or a normal boy. Oh my god, there's a zipper I've never even seen on this. Makeup, of course. It's like a little shitty Samsung glitter. More glitter. Some more glitter. And look, more glitter! Next we have scissors because, you know, you never know when you need to like cut a bitch. I mean paper. If you're a little, you know, purple-haired gay boy or, you know, a little slut and you don't want to get like raped and murdered on the street, you have to carry a hot pink taser.
Was that a moment for you?
Googled her dead name, figured out what her hometown was, and I found her father's obituary.
What was the last thing you said to him?
It was something pretty bad. We didn't have a good relationship growing up, and he died pretty suddenly of cancer. And unfortunately, one of the last things I said to him, we had a fight, and I told him I hope he dies.
I also found an old Twitter account, assuming that old Twitter account was actually her. She tweeted this. She has not publicly said her father sexually abused her. She has not, you know, said it like that, but she has talked about the abuse.
Well, what did you find out? Did you get molested? Were you born this way?
I learned that my childhood was much more abusive than I had kind of realized. For me, I just realized the extent for how bad my childhood was, and that it's further on the spectrum of like bad than I thought.
When you say you had bad childhood?
Oh, yeah.
What was going on in the house?
A lot. Oh my God. So I definitely had no allies growing up, let's put it that way.
Right. You know, I understand your father was a bad man, as you said, but you were still a little boy. And I don't care who the fuck you are or who your father is, little boys want and love their daddy.
Yeah, I struggled with, you know, even before I had the repressed memories come up about what he did and what he was, I would always feel like I was crazy for hating him, because if you literally had the memories blocked out of what makes him that super bad person, because it was like day and night. I mean, only I would have experienced the things that made him the bad person.
So as a child, you're dealing with identity things, you know, gender dysmorphia, and then now your father's side of the family is this cult thing. That's a lot for a child to deal with.
Yeah, it was a lot.
How did you reconcile that?
I think I sort of just was like on autopilot. I was in survival mode. It was just a lot of ugly, inappropriate stuff to be around kids. And that side of my family, my dad's side, they kept my mom from it as well. So this was all revelations that I had to like tell my mom as well once I came of age and understanding, to be like, you know, they were like doing all this stuff, right? And it makes sense to her now, but it was
so she didn't know.
I found some interviews where she talks about how she was raised in a cult on her father's side.
Grew up in a cult.
Really?
On my dad's side.
Oh shit.
What kind of
Have you heard of Rosicrucians?
Because you did some of the research on Rosicrucians,
I did
right?
a little, yeah.
Yeah. So what did
Do
what did you find on the Rosicrucians?
So essentially the Rosicrucians, and I didn't write a lot of this stuff down because I didn't find a ton of information. Like, they're very, very old. They're very secret. They claim to have created why am I blanking on the name?
The Freemasons?
The Freemasons. They claim to have invented or created the first Freemason order. They have ties to Portugal, the Knights Templar, a lot. It just seems like they have been involved in every big sort of colonizing force globally. They dealt with the occult, and the Nazis were inspired by the Rosicrucians to start getting involved in the cult. So I don't know if the Rosicrucians like helped spawn the Nazi movement, or if the Nazis just like recruited some people who were involved and they were like, hey, by the way, we can do this stuff. I don't know how any of that played out. So there's also a famous place called Bohemian Grove in Northern California that I know you're going to talk a little bit more about.
Yes.
But it is a place that nearly every conservative politician in the United States at some point goes there every summer, along with like talk show hosts, famous people. It's like an old boys club where nobody really knows what they do. I know at one point Alex Jones like recorded secretly their opening ceremony and then suddenly started going crazy. And it seems as though
Feels like it's
maybe
about that time,
It's probably
right?
time for tinfoil hats.
So just so you know, some of the things we're going to touch on, not all of this is 100% fact. Some of this is just our theories and speculation.
Call me crazy. This is just my speculation, my conspiracy, allegedly.
But the founder of Bohemian Grove was a Rosicrucian.
Yes.
So these entities are connected in some way. They go as far back as
Like the 1400s, correct?
older.
Yeah. So
Older, yeah.
there is an interview where she talks about her family being very, very involved in Rosicrucians. She only mentions Rosicrucians once. It was in an interview a year ago, and she has not said the name of the cult in any other interview I can find.
Yeah. She seems to have been silenced. I'm going to keep my tinfoil hat on when I say that.
Yeah. But her family, from what she says, she has some relatives that are, you know, very high up politicians. Some of them are more local politicians, very successful people.
Well, what's interesting is like the cult I was in, they were actually trying to build me into something. You know what I mean? Like like I said, they had like a lot of local politicians. And then actually in my super extended family, I come from like a lot of like higher level politicians too. Not like in my direct family, but like related. So politics, I guess, is in my DNA, and they were kind of grooming me to do that their way, in a way. Yeah, I've done everything on my own.
What do they want you to build you into? Did you ever find out?
I don't know exactly. I just know that that whole family and the cults is about achieving successes and, you know, being important people and being something in life. Like, contrary to like a lot of cults where they're just like kind of schleps.
Yeah.
And like they live on a compound somewhere and like are broke but have 7 wives. It's like my family were all like doing shit.
Bohemian Grove is located about 3 hours from her hometown, but this is up in Northern California where you get past San Francisco and it's like no man's land, right? So like a 3-hour drive at that part of Northern California is actually relatively close when you consider the tiny, tiny town she's from.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
I'm from the Midwest.
And like, hey, like I said, speculation,
Yeah.
you know, this is
Yeah.
just my theory, but I have a theory that maybe some of her family is involved in all of that. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a theory, but I just thought
But if she said that her family has politicians in it that are like high up and have been going back as far as how long ago did she say?
she said, she was like, I'll play the clip, but like hundreds, maybe thousands of years.
I know there's lots of different types of cults out there, and so people are probably like, well, what kind? Was it Mormon? Was it, you know, whatever? And there's not necessarily like a label for it. It's something that was in my family's bloodline for going back hundreds to thousands of years. Like it's been like a really strong thing like in that family.
Yeah.
Her family has deep
So-
ties to it from what she said in interviews.
That easily sounds like if it was the Rosicrucians, a lot of those people were probably Masons, were probably involved in, I don't know if there's an Illuminati, but if she had a screen name named Illuminati, like
It could be a coincidence.
it could
you
be,
know,
it could
that-
easily be a coincidence.
Yeah.
It also feels like not nothing.
Possibly,
Feels like not
possibly.
nothing.
Yeah.
She lies a lot. So
does.
you never really know with her, but like
Just the occult bullshit and
the fact that she just like came out of nowhere, is a trans person involved in right-wing politics,
fresh
has
off
been-
of 4chan, and mind you, she
Yeah.
started her account within the first year of her transitioning too.
Yeah, and her account blew up fast. Like
Mhm.
she just suddenly was on the
Out of
scene,
nowhere.
suddenly was popular, suddenly was like speaking to a very specific group of like incel alt-right Nazi people, and also like trying to find some middle ground people to like bring closer to that cause. It all feels very coincidental,
Yes.
you might say.
Yeah.
In a way that makes me feel gross.
Yeah, yeah. And hey, she might have nothing to do with it. She claims in her interviews that she left that cult and wanted to do the conservative thing her own way. That's
Right.
also entirely possible. This is just speculation.
She also
But-
claims that they were grooming her to become a politician, and suddenly she's talking about being a politician. So
If you follow me, you know that I actually have political aspirations beyond just running my mouth on camera here. You know, I actually want to be part of the solution and run for office and fix my home state.
She recently came out as a Christian, recently had a turn to Christ.
Do you ever consider detransitioning so you can be as God intended you to be? So that's an excellent question. I reached out to God. In almost no time, I had what I can only describe as a supernatural experience. If you can be a politician, autographing bombs that get sent off to the Middle East to kill children, if you can be a serial killer on death row and find God, if God is available to all those people, I know for a fact God is available to me.
There's an interview where he brings up like, oh, so you recently did DMT and like you had a spiritual awakening.
Or you did DMT and you had a
Yeah.
little bit, talk to me about that experience.
Yeah, I had heard, I guess, of like people having like spiritual revelations or heightened, you know, things like that. But when I tried it, I discovered that was really real. And I didn't have any concept of that beforehand. So it was pretty like shocking.
Yeah.
But it was also that, in fairness, and also like a combination of like a lot of other things in my life that kind of like just opened up that part of me. So it's an important part, I think, of like life.
I do genuinely think she tried DMT. She hangs out with Joe Rogan or whatever. Like she's connected to those kind of people, you know?
she's probably involved in all sorts of drugs. I should put my tinfoil hat back on for that. But
a lot of what she says is projection, because when she's talking about the trans shooters, she's like, oh, and they're on like psychedelics and I don't even know what else. But I'm like, you're also in an interview saying you have done psychedelics before and you're also on a HRT. So like, you know, I think when someone turns to Christ, I think it's both genuine for her and possibly something that she's being paid to do. Like I said, speculation. I ain't accusing anyone of shit. These are theories.
Speculation. My conspiracy. Allegedly.
I think her looking for something spiritual is partially genuine. I think it's possible that she's either being paid to do this now. I did some digging into just a few of the companies and brands that do sponsor some of her videos. She has publicly stated in many videos that she is critical of Israel as a state.
I think all I had said at the time was like, it's okay to critique Israel, which has nothing to do with Jewish people are separate from all of this. But that's why I get so frustrated when I see, you know, our Jewish brothers and sisters, just normal people who do get so upset when you critique Israel and they call it anti-Semitic. It's like, no, don't claim that I hate you. I'm talking about a country whose affairs greatly impact my country and whether or not my cousins get drafted to go to war. I'm talking about that. You can even take the word Israel out of it. How do you feel about a foreign country purchasing TikTok and admitting on video to using it to propagandize Americans? That's concerning. And 5 seconds ago, we were all very concerned about China doing that. So why that concern is suddenly ghost? Like, where'd that go?
And hey, I agree.
Yeah, if it were true that she is opposed to the state of Israel, I would agree with her.
Also, I would like to be clear, neither of us are on drugs, have addictions, and neither of us are suicidal. So if something happens to us...
I mean, you could say I'm addicted to Magic the Gathering, but that's a whole other thing.
I swear to God, if I go in your room and you got hit in the head by one of your magic decks, I swear to God. If we're treading in dangerous waters, you know, just so you know, I didn't take myself out. This is the most will to live I've ever had in my life.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying, like, we are not going to unalive.
Yes.
Yeah, I have zero intentions of doing that. I truly have the most hope for a potential future that I've ever had, which feels so weird to say.
Yeah.
But like...
It's because we got to fight now, you know?
Yeah.
Are you an agent of Israel? Absolutely not. I have never been paid. Let me just make this clear. I have never been paid by even my own government, nonetheless a foreign government, to post an opinion, say a thing, do a thing. I have definitely turned things down. I have definitely, you know, understood over time how many of my peers are bought by different countries, which has been the craziest thing. I feel like I came into this so naive. Like, I've been doing political commentary on the internet for a decade now. I guess I just assumed that like more people than not were genuine in why they said things and, you know, held opinions that were their own. I am a free agent and I'm just me.
So I started doing some digging into some of her sponsors. One of Blaire's main sponsors is Kalshi. Kalshi is a prediction market app where you can place bets on different topics such as geopolitical, cultural, and sporting events.
And according to our besties over at Kalshi, people are saying there's a 55% chance that the Odyssey will get an above 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. We love Kalshi on this channel. They are the first CFTC regulated exchange dedicated to the prediction of the outcomes of future events.
They claim it isn't gambling, but it's technically gambling. One of Kalshi's primary investors is a venture capital investment company, Sequoia Capital. Their primary partner, a man named Sean McGuire. Sean is one of Silicon Valley's loudest Trump supporters and a huge fan of Israel's ongoing genocide in Palestine. The company invests heavily in the Israeli military. Another big Kalshi investor, Anderson Horowitz, also invests in the Israeli military. At the Israeli International Defense Tech Summit in Tel Aviv last year, Sean said the future of information warfare is AI. He believes the prediction market is a way to sway public opinion, which he says is more powerful than any missile launched. Blaire White also had a sponsored post by a DNA testing company based out of Israel called MyHeritage.
That's why I've been obsessed with uncovering my own truth via MyHeritage.
The CEO, Gilad Jafet, a former IDF soldier.
Interesting.
And it was in the Epstein files that Epstein was working closely with different scientists and biologists and stuff to work with DNA testing companies to collect DNA.
There are many alt-right, scary, Nazi-leaning, Nazi-adjacent people, including one that we've covered before on this podcast. When we talked about autogynephilia, when we talked about Ray Blanchard, the guy who sort of invented that, he works for a sort of think tank of scientists who were heavily involved in starting DNA collection companies that they would sell as DNA testing so that they could capture and record DNA so that they could do eugenics and create the white master race.
Yes.
Like when you sell your DNA to a DNA testing company, you are helping their cause of doing eugenics.
Blaire has also been sponsored by a game called Matchmasters.
Matchmasters is a fast-paced, competitive match-3 game.
Their parent company, Candivore, is an Israeli tech company. Their CEO, Gal Goldstein, and many of their staff all former IDF soldiers. Some of her other sponsors are based in countries that support Israel, like Lithuania and Singapore. For someone who claims to have such a huge problem with Israel, she sure takes a lot of money from Israeli companies. Blaire White is a walking contradiction. She wants to be seen as equal, but supports policies that strip her of her rights. She promotes conservatism while asking for progress for herself. She decries bullying and bullies her own community. She speaks ill of predators, but then promotes them. She criticizes Israel and then takes sponsorships from Israeli companies. The whole thing felt suspicious to me, and like I said, tinfoil hat, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just making the connections that I can. I can't prove anything. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just stating my theories here. So this is my thing with Blaire White. She is known for being negligent in her research when she puts out content, does anything really. Time and time again, that's been proven. She's very negligent with that. Or possible that she knows she's lying and she just blatantly does it anyways. She's clearly a grifter. I do think part of this is a personal journey for her as well, and we'll get into that in a minute. But on the off chance that it is an honest mistake that she did not research these companies.
The many companies.
Many companies that are paying her money to have her advertise their products.
Yeah.
It's pretty, I would say, negligent and irresponsible.
Negligent and irresponsible at best.
Yeah.
Suspicious at medium.
Yeah.
And conspiracy level evil at worst.
Yes. And for somebody who likes to get online and claim she is not an agent of Israel and she's never been paid by any government and she loudly criticizes Israel, it's interesting that you're working with companies and selling their products on your channel to your millions of subscribers.
That's something a liar would say.
Yeah. It would be easy to answer the question, why is she like this, with because she's a hypocritical narcissist and a grifter. But I think it's deeper than that.
People make insane assumptions about me. People assume things that I feel and lie about me constantly. So for me to do that to someone else, I feel bad. Knowing what it takes to transition, the tens of thousands of dollars it takes to save up for these surgeries, to take that plunge and to step into that is difficult. And to know that at the time, this is getting kind of hard to film and I'm fucking frustrated. Having gone through that myself and knowing that Riley went through that and that during the process of Riley doing that, Riley had this trans person on YouTube making videos saying some of the things that I said is really messing with me and I feel really fucking bad.
What should we unpack?
Definitely the long-term effects of abuse when you're really young. I know I have abandonment issues for sure. That's a big one. And that's one of the patterns that I am working on fixing is, you know, I was born into abandonment issues. I have them. So I leave everyone.
You leave everyone?
I shed everyone.
Don't go.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
I'm really trying not to.
Just feel that. Just feel that. Don't go. Stay.
It sounds like begging to me.
What's the reaction immediately?
I look at them as a burden and like they're weak, which sucks. I don't want to feel that way. I've never been broken up with by anyone.
Interesting.
I've always broken up with everyone.
Yeah.
And everyone's always, I'm not trying to sound big myself up here, but they've like begged.
Wow.
To me to stay, like in a really, I view it as pathetic way.
I want to humanize her. I think we forget that sometimes monsters in society are just people. Something about Blaire White that I think drew me to some of her videos early on. I was that little kid with no allies in elementary school getting picked on. And I moved schools and I finally made some friends and my new friends taught me like, hey, don't let people bully you, you know? And I became a bit of a villain. I went too far. Thankfully, I wasn't a grown-ass adult on the internet.
Where everyone saves all the receipts.
I think Blaire White regrets sometimes that she took this path, and I think she's in too deep and she can't get out of it. I don't think that she really believes everything she says. I even found an anonymous comment on 4chan claiming they know she's just saying this stuff, or I think it was Reddit. It was one of those.
Sure.
I'll post it up. She had a beef early in her YouTube career with Riley Dennis, who was a trans creator, also on YouTube. I wouldn't say I 100% agreed with everything Riley Dennis said either, but Blaire would bully her for her appearance and the fact that she did not pass.
Knowing that this entire time that I've been being honestly cruel about Riley being trans or not being trans. This entire time, Riley was going through that same journey that I have been going through. You know, transition is very rigorous, transition is very intense, transition is hard, and I can only imagine what it would feel like to have a trans YouTuber making videos and saying some of the things that I said. And again, I don't regret criticizing the beliefs and the opinions, but attacking who Riley was as a person, I shouldn't have done that.
When Blaire made the apology video, it seemed pretty genuine.
It seemed genuine.
It seemed like real feelings.
Yeah.
And I think she's felt like that her entire 10 years of being online and doing what she does. There's a lot of conspiracy theories online that she's a 4chan incel and a transmaxxer and she's going to detransition one day. I believe if she wanted to do that for the Grift, she would have detransitioned already. The way she talks about her transition.
Yeah. The amount that they love detransitioners, it would be like a gold mine.
Yeah,
for
and
her.
if it was genuine for her, she would
Yeah.
have done it already.
100%.
And just the way she talks about her childhood. There's even one interview where she talks about what it's like to be trans and have gender dysphoria. And the way she described it, I'm like, I know a lot of trans people that didn't even describe it as well as she did. Like, I really believe it's real for her.
I think she was hanging out with the wrong people who
On 4chan.
On
Those are some of the
4chan,
worst people you could hang out
in
with.
the transmaxing community where
Mhm.
they spread intentional lies about trans people.
Mhm.
And I think she was convinced that if she actually was trans, it can only happen because of CSA.
That's the other thing. There's so many current interviews of her being like, I think it's a mental illness. Like, I think it's amazing that my body did this to protect me and made me trans.
About the trans thing. Now I see that, like, that was probably a trauma response. Me being trans is probably a trauma response. And it's not politically correct to say, don't care.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't make sense because no one gets raped and then they're just cis when they would have been trans. It's the same way people try to blame being gay on being molested
Right.
as a child.
Yeah.
Like, by that logic, there are also straight people that are actually gay that are just being straight because they have some trauma. Like,
If sexual abuse turned you gay, everyone would be gay.
literally.
Everyone would be gay.
Yeah. Everybody. Yeah.
At least way more fucking people than are.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn you gay.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't turn you
doesn't.
trans. It doesn't. Maybe it helps you unlock something in your brain that you didn't know was there or that you were ignoring. Maybe because of therapy, if you
Yeah.
go to therapy.
But she really latches onto that. And her whole entire grift started off as, I'm pretending to be trans and for attention. And I think she made a grave mistake with that. And I think she's in too deep to get out of it.
I frequently say, like, I'm so glad that I didn't start becoming, like, quote unquote famous at a younger age.
Seriously.
Because it really, it does, it like preserves you in amber. It like locks you in place
when
where
you're
you
not
are.
even a full person yet. You haven't
Yeah.
even become yourself yet.
Yeah.
I think no one should be famous before the age of 30. That's what I think.
Honestly, I think that would be a good idea. Because I moved out to LA to do acting when I was 25.
Mhm.
If I had started to become successful or like even was on the trajectory towards being successful,
Mhm.
there's a 0% chance I would have transitioned. I would have been like, nope, this is my livelihood now. And
Mhm.
like there's no room in the industry for trans people.
Mhm.
Like the few celebrities who like got famous and then transitioned, like Elliot Page is barely fucking working. Like
Mhm.
I'm stoked to see him in the Odyssey later this month. But
Mhm.
like if you are famous and then you transition, your life changes. Also, if I had been on record of some of my beliefs and my thoughts
Mhm.
when I was a young person,
And you were getting
especially-
all of your success from those
Yes.
shitty thoughts and beliefs?
Yes. If my fame was entirely based on the things that I believed when I was 15,
Seriously.
I would not be the person that I am today.
I do know she recently did some DMT. What I know about psychedelics is it really puts your life into perspective. Psychedelics for me saved my life, right?
Same, honestly.
Yeah, I worked through a lot of trauma through that. And I know the interviews she's been doing where she's doing more personal, intimate conversations about her childhood, I feel like stems from that experience she had. I think her recent turn to the Christian church, I think it's partially a grift, but I also think it's partially genuine. I think it is her rejecting her father in a weird way. If she's not actually tied into that cult, who knows? She could be lying about that. But if she is not, I think that experience with very bad people, because I believe people at the top, like the parasite class that is doing all of this shit, you know? I believe they sell us Abrahamic religions and tell us to talk to a false god while they do different spiritual practices that are actually beneficial. Well, this is the thing about witchcraft. If you do your research and you do it, it can be good or bad. There aren't any rules with witchcraft, which is, I think, why they took it away from people when the elite started colonizing. But you can do bad with it or good. Right now, a lot of people are turning away from the church and turning to spiritual practices like that, all different types of like paganism or whatever else.
I hope that's true.
There is a tarot card reader on TikTok that had 1 million followers. Alex Reads Tarot recently took all of her videos down and privated them, made a big public statement saying she's no longer reading tarot and she's giving her life to Christ. She has a lot of followers. It feels like a grift to me. She is also the tarot card reader that Haley Williams, like over a year ago, had shouted out in a song. So, and then Haley Williams, after the announcement, like had a live performance where she was like, Alex Reads Tarot used to read the shit out of me because it's, you know, she doesn't anymore. But like, to me, like everyone has like theories like, oh, she met a guy or, oh, she's in spiritual psychosis. I think it's a grift. I think she got reached out to and they offered her a lot of money. That girl's 22 years old too. She's young. I think they said, hey, if you start reading the Bible instead of tarot, we will pay you. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Probably just like, how much money are you making? We'll
just
pay
my
you,
theories.
We'll pay you slightly more than that.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for Blaire White, the adult mean bitch that continues to lie, harm her own community. Fuck that bitch. But like watching some of her interviews where she talks about her childhood, like I feel very bad for that little girl that everyone was perceiving as a little boy.
No matter how shitty a person is, I can always feel empathy for their childhood self.
Yeah.
Because nobody becomes this way out of nowhere. Like nobody's like born an innocent, sweet baby child and then just decides to like be evil. Unless it's your only method of survival. Unless the environment around you has been created in such a way where like it's your only choice.
She said it herself in an interview. A lot of personality traits and things that she has now, her being a bully and cold to people, it stems from trauma that was passed down.
I've recently understood that I have so much of what my mom has in terms of like issues with trauma and her brain. And she passed so much of it down to me, partly because she repeated a lot of patterns and like not raising me optimally, I guess, and not creating an environment that was healthy for me. But then also I feel like a lot of it was genetic too. Anxiety in particular.
I don't think any child deserves that. Not even
Agreed.
the worst of adult versions of children.
Yeah. As someone who was also a trans child raised in a cult, I relate very much to a lot of the early Blaire White stories. If I had known what 4chan was earlier in my life, and I had fallen into the wrong circles, and I had been around some of these people, and if it was my only source of connection outside of my shitty family, if it was where I found community, and if I thought it was the only potential path towards me having like a life of my own, I could have easily become a Blaire White. There's just a couple steps on the way when you're transitioning where you're like, I either believe this and believe it about myself, or I don't believe this and I apply that knowledge moving forward.
Yeah, especially at the like late teens, early 20s age. You're becoming an adult and trying to figure out who you are as an adult.
Yes.
This is the other thing about Blaire White. She always has struck me as a very insecure person. She's very appearance-based, very trans medicalist. Even with non-trans people, she's always attacking a person's appearance.
She probably internalized that she wasn't worthy of love if she didn't fully pass.
Yeah.
A lot of trans girls internalize that, and then if they achieve their goal, then they lash out at everyone who doesn't live up to it because it makes them ashamed that they of probably making some decisions that maybe they didn't necessarily want to do, that they felt they had to in order to pass, in order to be worthy of love. So if you see somebody who's out there feeling worthy of love and loving themselves and not fully passing, it would enrage you.
This is the thing too, and outside of her being trans, every woman feels like our value is in the way we look. There is something that comes in handy being a woman where having and it doesn't even have to just be the femme thing, because like you and I don't dress hyper femme or anything. Like, you know, not all the time at least, but like
I wish I did. I don't know how.
Oh, bitch, I got you. I'll help you out.
Great.
I feel like for all women in general too, there is this pressure to be the most beautiful thing that every man wants to fuck and every girl wants to be. And even to a degree with certain, like, maybe not mask presenting lesbians, but like, it's true across the board for a lot of women. That's how, like, pretty privilege is a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
in a capitalist patriarchy, that is our currency.
Yeah.
That is the only
Our value
benefit we
is
are afforded.
placed in that. We are seen as a piece of property and an object for sexual gratification for men. Even if you're not attracted to them, you move through life easier when you are appealing to men. There are dangerous situations that come with that as well, but overall, you are treated better. And I think a combination of her issues with her abusive father and her falling in line at a young age with a lot of very extreme, radical right lunatics.
And some predatory old radical right lunatics.
For
the
sure.
Epsteins of the world, who I'm sure
Yes.
was involved in there somehow.
Yeah, I think her wanting to feel protected by a man when your dad, whatever kind of abuse it is she's going through, that's the one man in your life you want to feel like protects you. And he was abusing her.
Yeah. And if that's your experience, you will spend the rest of your life trying to replace that relationship
with shitty men that aren't going to protect you.
Yeah. If that's your model, if you're like, I want to find someone who's like my dad, but who will protect me, you're just going to keep finding men who are like your dad.
Even like her fiance, I'm not going to go on a whole rabbit hole about that. There's plenty of shit on YouTube about that if you want to know about Joey.
And
but
the chaser extraordinaire.
And even if you compare photos, like they're all kind of her dad coded. Like there's also the conspiracy theory, like, and hey, like I said, conspiracies, it might not be true, that she's slept with Alex Jones. There's like all kinds of little threads about that.
I've seen
you
that,
know,
yep.
like that kind of conservative Republican man that she wants protection from. Like that's really what I think a lot of this started with, is wanting to feel loved by her dad.
And you're not going to find that in the conservative circles, because those are some terrifying people.
They're some of the
and
worst.
if you came up on 4chan, then you believe that more liberal-leaning men are like weak and cucks and like all the things that they say, and you wouldn't look to them to find protection because you would believe inherently that they're incapable.
Yeah. She also seems like she's cut a lot of her emotions off to protect herself.
I have a lot of fear about ever reaching the point in any of my friendships or relationships where they become the person who abandons me. So I have a really bad problem with cutting them off.
Before they cut you off?
It's like my body like expects it.
You probably judge it in them or see it as pathetic and weak because maybe you see that part of you as pathetic and weak.
Yeah, because it is something that I always feel insecure about expressing.
What?
That desire to be liked, to be loved, to be stayed with. Like, you know, I've been told by every boyfriend that I'm very cold.
She has this cold attitude because she's like, that's what I'm going to get from men, but I'm going to find the one, you know, like I just feel like everything she does is for her dad to love her.
Who can relate?
I don't know. I got mommy issue flavored trauma over here. So
I mean, I have both, but like,
I have a little bit of both too, but I lean mommy issue, you know?
but like, I certainly have the like, why doesn't my dad care about me?
Your dad was terrible too.
Exactly. Yeah, my dad was terrible. I feel like hers was worse. Feels crazy to say that, but I feel like she had it worse in the father department.
If it went the way I'm assuming it did.
The way her videos sort of lean, you know, the way she won't talk about it, the way she talks about repressed
the comment
memories.
sections on that one video of everyone being like, my dad raped me too, or whatever.
Even before I had the repressed memories come up about what he did and what he was, I would always feel like I was crazy for hating him, because if you literally had the memories blocked out of what makes him that super bad person, only I would have experienced the things that made him the bad person.
It's giving that without her wanting to say that, and that's fair. I have been raped before, and I have not publicly talked in detail about it, so like, I get it. That is a personal thing to go through. Normally, I wouldn't be discussing anybody's trauma like this on our podcast, but like Blaire White has done a lot of harm.
Yeah. When you are actively traumatizing other people and you're going out of your way to traumatize other people, we get to talk about your trauma.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
We get to talk about your trauma because you talk about it.
Mhm.
I have no judgments about that. I don't care.
I do know she recently reconnected with her mother and I guess is mending that relationship. From what I understand about her mom's side of the family is they're a lot more progressive leaning and accepting of her being trans, things like that.
Okay, that's nice.
I don't know that side of her family personally. Obviously, there's not much out there about them, but if she could pull her head out of her ass and then maybe fight super hard to undo some of the fucking damage she's done, because she's done so much bad.
Yeah. I think if she genuinely tried to heal all of her shit, accept herself as a genuine trans person who was always a trans person and wasn't made that way because of trauma, and then could heal that trauma and starts with, I think it would be an incredibly difficult transition, probably harder than her gender transition, like probably the hardest transition of her entire fucking life. But I believe she is still in a place where she's capable of it.
I think she blames her being trans on her trauma so much because that's so much easier than looking at what it really is.
Yeah.
Because she tries to be a surface level person. She doesn't think she is, but she has a wallop. So I'm sorry for making you potentially empathize with her, but I think this is an important thing to do to understand these people. And also, if you're a fan of hers and you are watching this, I'm sure you've already written mean comments, sending us hate.
I can't wait to read the comments section on this one.
We'll see how this goes. But especially if you're a younger person, especially if you're a young queer person, really consider who you're looking up to.
Yeah.
Because she's just a person.
Yeah.
People on the internet are just people like you.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Chloe are just regular ass people.
We are regular ass people.
We are. We're like the most regular ass people.
So regular.
You know.
I mean.
But also bad bitches somehow, you know?
We're not like, we're regular. We're not average.
There we go. We got to put that on a shirt or something. Or make the shorts, put it on the butt. We got to make merch, bitch, but we're poor. We'll get there. There's a YouTube video I want to tag in our description for people to go watch by this YouTuber named The Right Opinion. It's like a 3-hour video, but he picks apart like a lot of times in her career that she's just lied about shit. Think for yourself, do your research, be careful who you idolize. I hope this gave the internet a better understanding of the queen grifter, Blaire White.
Everyone's favorite bully.
Blaire, I'm biologically a man, White.
Blaire, I started transitioning as a joke, but it was real, White.
Blaire, trans people are evil, but not me though, White. Like,
yeah.
By the way, Blaire, on the off chance you are watching this, I know I took a dig at your appearance a little bit at the beginning of this, but hey, you can come after me. I know I'm a cis girl with a Adam's apple, whatever. I got an angular face, green hair, and a nose ring. Whatever you want to say about my appearance and my voice and whatever you think. I don't care. I empathize with you, and I want you to know that. I don't think you hear that enough.
Yeah, maybe you don't want to hear this from me, but like I see a lot of myself in you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about my blue hair and whatever else you decide. My voice is too masculine. Whatever else people fucking hate about me.
We don't care.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, I've heard it all. I've heard worse.
I was a stripper for 10 years. I've heard the worst things.
I work with children. Like,
oh my God.
They say,
oh, that's
they don't even know they're being rude. Like
her next video after this comes out, trans predator Chloe.
I mean, she'd probably say something like that, but like, I will literally.
And her accomplice, Laura.
Like, I will literally call every single child that I work with.
Every client she has.
Hit them all up.
Hit up the kids and the parents. They have nothing but good things to say about her.
The kids will swear
literally
on their lives that I'm one of their favorite living people.
I say all the time, I wish Chloe was like a tutor or a teacher for me when I was a kid. She's a great educator.
My Roman nose. Try to think of other things she might hate about me.
Oh, who cares?
You should go to Blaire White's page and leave her heartfelt, emotional messages about how you love her and feel sorry for her.
Honestly, yeah.
On one hand, she would be baffled by what was happening. And then on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know if it would make her angry or
I feel like it might piss her off.
It might piss
Maybe-
her off. It would probably piss her off. So do it.
I'm going to rebuttal that and say, don't interact with her page. We
Okay.
can't control you.
That's true.
But if you're going to, do not send her hate.
Don't do it.
God damn it, Chloe. If you're going to do it, I think sending her emotional, what's the word I'm looking for?
Empathy, sympathy.
Empathy.
Yeah. I don't think she gets a lot of empathy.
I don't think she does either.
I also think she views it as weakness, but like, whatever.
Yeah, she does.
Whatever. That's all we have to say to and about Care Blaire.
Care Blaire, that's terrible.
I know.
Like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon. We love you.
We love you so much.
Bye.
Call me crazy. This is just my speculation, my conspiracy, allegedly.
I have something very important to bring up.
Okay.
And your commenters are going to be so happy for me to bring this up.
Okay, I can't wait.
Where is your Blue Sky account?
Oh my god!
Where is your Blue Sky account? Why on the most left-wing platform on you don't exist? Okay. Come on.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm really the wrong person to be.
Do you even get on Blue Sky, Brandy?
Listen. I'm really the wrong person
I'll
to be.
do it tonight. Like, Jesus.
Jesus, bitch.
Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science.